Assalamualaikum and a very good day to our esteemed evaluator. So my name is Muhammad Anik Aiman bin Sajid, a student from Bachelor in Digital Marketing Program BA252 at UiTM Segama Johor. So today I am incredibly honoured to present my comprehensive freelancing journey and strategic reflection for the course UBM599 Digital Workforce. Over the course of this semester, we have transitioned from being traditional classroom learners to active participants in the global digital economy. So this presentation is just not a summary of what I did, it is a critical synthesis of how the stories we learned in UBM599 translated into real world business decisions, professional struggles and ultimate growth. As a digital marketer, the lesson from this course have fundamentally reshaped how I view the future of work and my role within it. Let us divide it into the structured pillars that made this journey so transformative. Alright, so to understand the success of this freelancing experience, we must first look at the academic and theoretical foundation that anchor our work. UBM599 act as a vital bridge between the lecture hall and the global marketplace. It does not just teach us how to search for jobs, it teaches us the system, the architecture and the hidden mechanics of crowdsourcing platforms. So before we could successfully pitch a single service to an international client, we had to dismantle our old assumptions about what a career looks like. We had to embrace the fact that the modern workforce is borderless, highly competitive and driven by algorithmic reputation. Let's look at the core pillars of the course syllabus that guided my strategic direction. Within our curriculum, two core topics serve as my primary compass. The first topic was the topic 1, which is the introduction to the future workforce. These modules open our eyes to the macroeconomics shifts happening worldwide. We analyze how standard administrative, marketing and creative tasks are no longer bound to physical corporate offices. So instead, they are being distributed globally to flexible remote cloud workers. However, understanding the opportunity was only half the battle. So topic 8, which is focused on crowdsourcing challenges, prepare us for the harsh realities of this ecosystem. We studied the friction points of online labor, including intense global price competition, platform fees, payment security risks, and also the difficulty of getting noticed. So with this dual perspective, the massive opportunity on one hand and highly competitive friction on the other, I entered the digital marketplace not as an immature looking for pocket money, but as a strategic digital marketer ready to carve out a niche. Theoretical knowledge is only tested when you encounter your first difficult client. So in my real-world freelancing application, I quickly ran into classic crowdsourcing obstacles. The most prominent being vague client instructions. Often, clients on these platforms know they need help with their digital marketing, but they do not have the vocabulary or structure to explain what they actually want. I experienced situations where brief change mid-project or were completely ambiguous. Through this friction, I learned the invaluable role of active, constructive communication. I realized that a professional freelancer does not just take orders, they also consult. I began taking the initiative to bridge this gap by creating custom client intake templates, by asking structured questions about the target audience, design preference, and also performance metrics before initiating work. I managed to eliminate misunderstandings, save dozens of revision hours, and also build immediate professional trust. As I progressed Self-evaluation became necessary for survival in the digital marketplace. My first major realization was the absolute necessity of vigilant platform filtering. When you first start, you are tempted to apply for every job post you see. However, I quickly realized that the digital space has its shares of bad actors, incomplete contracts, and also payment risks. I learned to look for green flags, which is verified payment methods, historic client reviews, and also realistic project budgets. So my second realization was the importance of capacity management. Early on, the excitement of winning bids can lead to overcommitment. I quickly learned that taking on too many simultaneous tasks dilutes the quality of your output and risks your reputation. I had to establish a strict personal limit on active projects to ensure that every single client received the premium digital marketing service they paid for, preserving both my mental sanity and also my professional rating. The true return on investment for my time in UBM599 has been rapid acquisition of key professional skills. Firstly, my digital collaboration skills have reached a corporate standard. I mastered remote productivity suites, real-time chat documents, and project management dashboards to communicate seamlessly across time zones. Secondly, I sharpened my strategic decision making. I stopped sending generic, copy-paste proposal templates to clients. Instead, I analyzed each client's business, identified their specific marketing pain points, and drafted custom, persuasive proposals that clearly outlined the value I could bring. So finally, this journey fostered a profound sense of project independence, managing client expectations, setting my own milestone pricings, and executing deliverables from start to finish has given me a level of professional autonomy that no textbook could ever replicate. These skills yielded concrete professional outcomes that I will carry forward into my career. I adopted industry-grade asset protection measures such as applying digital watermarks to draft to prevent clients from using intellectual property before payment was secured. I also learned to insist on clear written service agreement before starting any work to prevent score creep. But the most significant outcome was a massive psychological shift. I completely stopped viewing freelancing as a casual, low-stats side gig. Instead, I now see it as a legitimate, highly scalable digital business. This paradigm shift means I now approach every client negotiation with the confidence, language, and a posture of an established digital agency rather than a student looking for a quick payout. This journey also cultivated deep intellectual and ethical growth. UBM599 gave me a macro-level understanding of global digital labor trends, allowing me to see how regional economies interact through cloud platforms. More importantly, it taught me the moral values, the ethics, and professional integrity are the absolute foundation of a sustainable freelancing business. In an online environment where you are largely anonymous, your honesty, adherence to deadlines, and respect for copyright are your only true assets. I realized that building a premium personal brand is not about fancy logos. It is about delivering consistent, high quality, and ethical works that turns one-time clients into a long-term referral partners. Looking back at the structure of UBM599, I have few constructive suggestions to make this excellent course even more impactful for future semester. First, I highly recommend introducing active simulation and role-playing frameworks. Simulating tough client conversations handling budget disputes or resolving scope changes in safe classroom setting will immensely boost student confidence. I also suggest inviting successful course alumni for interactive interviews to share practical tips. Secondly, the course could provide standardized practical toolkits, including pre-formatted proposal templates, standard service agreement contracts, invoice generators, and aesthetic portfolios layouts. Providing these resources would allow students to launch their digital careers much faster with higher level of initial professionalism. So in conclusion, UBM599 has been an incredibly vital part of my academic journey. It successfully bridged the gap between abstract marketing concept and real-world execution metrics. Whether I choose to continue scaling my digital marketing freelance business or enter a corporate administrative environment, these tools, self-management disciplines and confidence I have cultivated here have made me highly adaptable. I am ready to step into the future workforce, not just to participate, but to lead. With that, I conclude my presentation. I want to express my deepest gratitude to my lecturer and peers for their continuous support and guidance throughout this journey. Thank you very much for your time and attention today.